recap those announcements, this Wednesday we have PSAT, work keys for seniors, freshmen or something. So there's no classes Wednesday for anybody. We're all doing something different. Next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're on fall break. So we will not have any classes. Thursday and Friday is normal Thursday, Friday virtual days. Thursday is going to be a B day. Friday will be an A day. So I will have class, but it's only mandatory if your grade's below 70%. So you don't have to see me at all next week to keep your grades up. But there will be one assignment for you to do next week. It'll be in Google Classroom. I'll try to put a video with it. So it'll be there for you. Let's look at what we have this week. I'm not putting anything new at you this week. We're kind of taking a little bit of a break from because I've thrown so much stuff at you for the last several weeks that this week we're just going to use some of that stuff. It's time for us to have another quiz. So we haven't had a quiz in a few weeks. So let's see. When's the last time we had a quiz? I don't know. Way back in week 4. So here we are up in week 9. So we have a Unit 1 quiz 2. So when you click on that, it'll take you over to formative over here. And let me go through the quiz just to show you what it consists of. Completely fill in the table and graph the equation. So that's where you click on this show your work. You got to fill in these numbers. You can either type them with the type button, it'll put you a typer, or you can use the pencil and just draw them. As long as I can read it, you can do it however you like. Fill in the table for this equation. The equation's right here at the top of the page. So use that equation to fill in the table and then graph the equation. Graph this negative 2x squared minus 4x minus 2. You'll have 7 points to start with if all the points are on the graph. I haven't checked. Some of these may be so large that they're off the graph. That's okay. Just graph the ones that are on there and then finish your graph once you have your points on there. All right, so that'll be question number 1. And then what is the axis of symmetry? As you can tell, this is a quadratic equation. It's got an x squared. So it will have an axis of symmetry. So you need to tell me what the axis of symmetry is for the graph you just made. What is the vertex for the parabola you just made? Is that vertex a maximum or a minimum? Multiple choice there. What is the increasing interval for your graph? So basically, when is your graph getting larger? When is the y getting larger? Is it when x is larger than 3? After 3, it's going up, and before 3, it's not. It's going down before 3. Where is that? At what? Because you got to put the increasing and the decreasing. Well, it's increasing when x is bigger than 0, or it's increasing when x is smaller than 0. Whatever the situation turns out to be, just tell me for what x's is that increasing. X is larger than 8, whatever it turns to be. I don't know what it is. I haven't even calculated it yet. I just have it there for you. And then what is the rate of change for your equation from x equals 1 to x equals 3? So the rate of change is the average rate of change, right? Every time x goes up 1, how much does y go up 1? You'll need to take this x equals 1, put that in your equation to figure out what y equals. Then take x equals 3, put it in your equation, figure out y equals. Difference in the y's divided by the difference in the x's. Okay, so that is page 1 of the quiz. Page 2 of the quiz. A juggler tosses a ball into the air. The ball's height, h, in feet, and time, t, seconds, can be represented by this equation. So you got this equation right here. Negative 16t squared plus 40t plus 4. Find the maximum height. That would be, right, since this is a negative t squared, it's an upside down parabola. It's got to be where the vertex is. What is the value of the y at the vertex? Right? Remember, you can find the vertex. Remember that negative b over 2a? Hopefully you have that in your notes. If not, you might want to go back and see where we talked about that. Negative b over 2a will tell you where the axis of symmetry is. It'll tell you where the x is for the vertex. And you can use the x in the equation, or in this case, the t in the equation to figure out what the height is. Then here's another one. Jason jumped off a cliff in the ocean in Acapulco while visiting vacation with some friends. Here's an equation for him. Negative 16t squared plus 16t plus 480. The plus 480 tells us the cliff was 480 feet in the air. How long did it take for him to reach his maximum height? Oh, t is the seconds. So now you're needing to know the maximum height would be the vertex. What is the t value? What's the x coordinate of the vertex? Because that's going to be the amount of time. The y is going to be the height that he reached. So if you can figure out the vertex, you can get the maximum height. And then the last page, using this chart, find the rate of change between year 2 and 3. There's year 2, here's 3. What is that average rate of change? It's a graph. Make sure these are thousands over here. So it's not like, oh, its rate of change is 3. No, it didn't go up 3. It went from 15,000 to 30,000. So make sure you're paying attention to what the values are. Using this graph below, find the average rate of change between 0 and 3. When x is 0 right here, you can click on this to make it bigger, but it gets blurrier. When x is 0, what is the graph? When x is 3, what is the graph? What is the average rate of change between those 2 points? And then the last questions indicate the intervals of increase and decrease. This graph right here, when is it going up? When is it going down? You type your responses over here on the right. When is it going? Again, you can zoom in on it. You can click that zoom in and make it bigger on your screen if you need to. When is it going up? When is it going down? And if you look at that carefully, it's going up more than once. So there's more than one interval of increase. So, all right, that is what the quiz looks like. The other thing we have is we have a performance task. We did one performance task. We practiced. We did the bee colony. This one is on College Board. So again, if you haven't created that College Board account, join our class. When you click this, it'll take you to College Board. You'll have to sign in. And it should take you to the assignment. It's driving me crazy. Oh, now it's loading. First it gave me an error, then it decided, no, I won't give you an error. So here it is. It's a PDF. It's got 5 places where you type your answers. 5 places where you type your answers. So you have to read the questions. And this is talking about this table. It's a grocery store. This tells the number of customers in the store. At 6 o'clock, at 7:30 in the morning, at 9, at noon, 1:30, all the way until 10:30 at night. The number of customers in the store. So you have to answer the questions. Determine the average rate of change between 7:30 and 9 in the morning and 5:30 and 9 in the evening. So you got to give 2 different rates of change for that question. And then explain what those average rates of change mean in the context of this grocery store. Well, the average rate of change is +8. So that means the rate of change is +8. Well, what's that mean for a grocery store? If I go to a grocery store and say your average rate of change is +8, they're like, what in the world are you talking about? Tell me what it means for this grocery store. Then number B, A, B, C, D, E. Suppose the manager wanted to use the average rate of change of the interval from 6 to 7 to predict the number of customers that were at 9. It says without actually estimating, explain whether using this average from 6 to 7:30 would give an overestimate or an underestimate if he wanted to do that. Would that provide him a good number, or would it give him a number that's too small? Would it give him a number that's too big? The manager did not give any count at 2 o'clock, so use the average rate between 1:30 and 3:30 to estimate how many were there at 2 o'clock. The manager of the store is thinking about adding another employee to a 6-hour shift, either from 6 to noon or noon to 6. So which one would you recommend? So you need to figure out the average rates of change between those times. Which one do they look like they need more employees? Provide an explanation that includes a discussion on the average rates of change over those intervals. And then the last one says the assistant manager notices that the number of customers in the store at 5 o'clock in the evening is equal to the number of customers at 5:30. The assistant manager concludes that because the average rate of change is 0, then no customers left or entered. between 5 and 5:30. Is that correct thinking? And explain why or why not that's correct or not. Hey, there's that many people stored 5 that made it 5:30. I mean, nobody came, nobody left. So that is the assignment for College Board for the performance test. And that's all you have this week. Nothing new. This is using stuff we've learned previously. It's trying to apply it in context, put it out there in some real world stuff and see what we know. So that's all we have. Next week, you'll have one assignment. Like I said, I will have just one thing, and we'll have the break for most of the week. But that is about it. So I'm not going to keep you a very long time today. I know this class usually drags on, but thankfully we don't always have to do that. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to take them, answer whatever I can. Otherwise, you guys go enjoy your week. No class on Wednesday.